All right, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Mayum coming at you from GMS Tampa Bay. First and foremost, I want to give all the praise and glory. Salakia. I want to give all the praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rochai, Wadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, great millstone. And much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out His truth and sincerity. Salakia, bear with me here. All right. So, just want to go into this lesson real quick. Just kind of a brief overview of current events. And as we continue to draw nigh unto the coming in the day of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, we're going to start to see, the signs on the earth that the Lord is returning continue to increase and be more prevalent. Okay, because that's a tired old saying that it ain't gonna happen in our lifetime. Okay, all that's getting ready to go out the window. Let me get a quick preset that just came to mind. Slovakia. I forgot exactly how it's worded. Right, here we go. 2 Peter chapter 3. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, and I'll start at verse 3. It says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust, and saying, where is the promise of His coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. You see? And this is that same old saying that Israel to this day continues to say when you talk about these prophecies. Okay, and the return of the Messiah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, whose real name is Yahweh Shai. All right, there is a mindset amongst you Israelites around the four corners of the earth that think that this is just how life is going to continue to be. Things have always been like this. Salakia. There's always been wars. There's always been earthquakes. There's always been, this and that. And the people use this as a buffer, so to say, to continue to, so that they can continue to have the mindsets that they have. Okay, and they don't consider that what's actually taking place on the earth is the prophecies that the Lord spoke of. Okay, and this is why things are becoming more and more clear as the scriptures talk about it. Matter of fact, let me get it real quick. So lucky, bear with me. First Corinthians 13 and 12. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and right to the point, verse 12. 1 Corinthians 13 and 12. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as I also am known. And these words are not going to return unto the Heavenly Father void. All the things that the Lord spoke of happening, on the earth in the last days are going to take place. And you're going to know very clearly that it is of the Lord. That the Lord did these things. Okay? Because for the longest time, it was like you were looking through a glass darkly. You trying to look in the mirror in the dark, you ain't going to really see nothing. Unless there's some light. And then if there's some light, then you can maybe see the silhouette, and the brighter that light becomes. What did it say? It said, then it shall be as in fact, let's get it back one more time. 1 Corinthians 13 and 12. says, for now we see through a glass darkly, right? That mirror in the dark, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I even know as also I am known. So just like people know you, people can see you. You know, when you're walking down the street, that's how it's going to be. That's how the prophecies are going to be upon the earth, that it's going to be very, very clear. Okay, and ultimately that's why the scriptures say this in Ezekiel 33, verse 33. It says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. Because why? The Lord power surely doeth nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. Let's get that, Amos 3:7. It says, surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. You see? So the Lord has revealed his secrets, meaning his prophecies and the understanding of them, to his servants, the prophets. Okay, not everyone, but the prophets. And those men have come out here to tell you, and for a time their prophecies were as if you were looking through a glass darkly. You can kind of maybe see, okay, well, maybe I can see that happening, but I don't see any of these things taking place, so it's not feasible at this time. But now you're seeing constantly, over and over, uproars of the people, earthquakes, okay? All types of calamities, okay? Violence upon the earth increasing, the love of many waxing cold, nation against nation. You're seeing all these things starting to take place at a more rapid pace, okay? And it's going to continue to become more rapid, because things are going to become more clear for people to understand that this is the time wherein the highest shall begin to visit the world, which he made. Matter of fact, let's get that in 2 Ezra 9. Let's start at the top. Because again, amen, just this week, so far it's been, really the last few couple weeks. It's like it. The last few couple weeks have been interesting, man. A lot has been happening, and good, because this is what we've been wanting, for the Lord to speed up the times, as it tells us in Matthew chapter 24. Let me grab that real quick before we get that 2 Ezra 9. Matthew 24, and I believe 13 or 14. Oh no, it's lucky. A little bit further down, I think 21. Yep. All right, let's read 21 and 22. And this is who you ignorantly call Jesus speaking, Yahushai. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 21, it says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days shall be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. You see, so there's a time of great tribulation that's going to be coming. And if when you read up above, I believe verse 3, this is the question that the disciples asked. And as you continue to read the rest of the chapter, is the response that Yahushua gave them for the signs that would be taking place before he would come. Matthew's chapter 3, or Matthew's 24 and 3, it says, and he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, what shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Okay, and it goes on to say, Yahushua tells them that you're going to see, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. That's verse 6. You see, and for the longest time now, right? A lot of you people love to use that proverb. Okay. Oh, there's always been wars. Yeah, and the scriptures just tell you, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. You see? So all these things had to take place so the Lord could build things up. That's why for so long now you've had nothing but wars, nothing but conflict. Okay? Around the whole planet Earth, man. Not just in the Middle East, but all over the earth. And it's gotten to the point now where you have countries like Bangladesh, okay, that are, curfew with shoot on sight, man. You have these riots out in London, all right, in Venezuela. You have these wars, Ukraine, over there in the Middle East with Iran and Israel and the Hezbollah and Hamas and everybody, pretty much. Okay. And then here in the streets of America, man, things are not as they used to be. All right. Just recently came back about a week ago from these, from San Francisco. Beautiful time I had with them brothers up there. But, there was one of the days that we went out. And brothers was showing us around town. And, pretty much ran into a damn, they had certain sections of the street blocked off. They had police everywhere throughout the whole downtown. And what ended up coming up was one of these Israel protests. The war over there in Gaza. People protesting for that. Okay, I'm talking about droves, man. They had whole streets blocked off. Okay, so it's just tension that the Lord has have building up around the earth. Let me look up a quick preset that just came to mind. Okay. We'll get that next. All right, but let me finish up here in Matthew 24 real quick. It says for verse 7, it says, For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, and we've seen these things happening. Okay, really, if you just want to go back to the end of World War II, right? You've had nothing but nation against nation. You had the Cold War. You had the Korean War. Okay, you had in the 60s and 70s. You had the war out there in Afghanistan start to really turn up. Then you had the Vietnam War. Okay, then you had the war on drugs here in America. Okay, you had the 80s with the Soviet collapse, the collapse of the Soviet nation. Or Soviet Union, I forget exactly how they were called, but they collapsed in the so-called, late 80s, going into the 90s. And then you had Desert Storm. You've had all these wars plus other skirmishes throughout, individual countries on the earth, man. Okay, you've had the kingdom against kingdom. You've had the famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Okay, it's been nothing but that taking place. It says, verse 9, Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And that's already started, man. All right, the world hating the messengers of Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay. And it says, And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. See, real quick, verse 10, though, it said, And there shall be many... And there shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And we've been seeing that, especially since COVID. Okay? People betraying one another, turning other people in. Okay, calling the police. You had that whole January 6th riot. Okay, over there in the Capitol Hill. What do they call it? Insurrection. Okay, and then people were turning in their own family members, calling the hotline to name drop. He says, And shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many, right? And you have all these different denominational churches out here, plus not to mention within Israel, those that call themselves Israelites and prophets and teachers. There, you got a lot of false teachers or false prophets amongst these men as well. But verse 12, And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And this is what we're experiencing. The love of many waxing cold. People aren't as friendly as they used to be. Why? Because tensions are hot around the world, man. And this is why the Lord is going to cause you people to zip. He's going to zip your mouths up, man. Let's get this in Ezekiel 12 now. And then we'll go back to that, to that 2 Ezra 9. Okay, start at verse 26. Ezekiel 12 and 26, it says, Again, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, Behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesieth of the times that are far off. Therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord power. Right, man? And this is what we're here to tell you, man, that the Lord, the word of the Lord is not slack, as some men count slackness. All right, it's no longer going to be prolonged, but the word which the Lord spoke is going to come to pass, man. It ain't going to be no more, oh, he's for many days to come, and he prophesieth of the times that are far off. No, man. We're talking about now. We're talking within months. We're talking within a year, man. Lord's will. And then we can get up out of here, man, and live in righteousness, live in peace alongside our Lord and power, our power and Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. This is what we've been looking for, and this is what we see happening. That's why we continue to watch, as the scriptures command us to do, to pray and watch, man. Because we're drawing nigh to the end of this world, and drawing nigh unto the beginning of it that followeth. Okay. But let's go now to 2 Ezra 9:1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before. Okay, and what did the prophets do? That we go out before. Okay, because the Lord told us before these things happen, and we were commanded to go out and to warn the people before these things happen. Real quick, 2 Chronicles 36:15. And the Lord power of their fathers sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes, meaning before, and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. We know the rest of the scripture, but that's the point that I wanted to make, is the Lord sends out his messengers to warn you of what the Lord is getting ready to do, so that you could possibly be passed over of the judgment. And how do you get passed over? By making your calling of election sure, by returning back unto the Lord, by repenting. Okay? By putting off the old man, the old ways that you used to follow in the world, and come up out of the world, and be not partakers with their sins. That's what we do if you want to be, passed over of this judgment. Because this last judgment that's getting ready to come to the earth is the last and final ass whooping the Lord is going to bring. Because what's going to come after this is going to be peace and righteousness on the earth. Okay, and for you Israelites, you're going to have overcome death. You won't die ever again. Okay, well, let's read this now. Verse 2 Ezra 9:1 again. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou well understand. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And we've seen part of the signs past. Okay, the roars, the uproars, the rumors of wars. Okay, the love of many waxing cold. The earthquakes in diverse places. We've seen these things taking place. Then we understood through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that it was the same time when the Lord will begin to visit the world which he made. Okay? And the measuring tool is what? The scriptures, man. Because this is where the prophecies are found in. Not your Bill Nye the Science Guy book, not your Neil deGrasse book, Tyson, whatever. Okay? Not in your Book of the Dead, not in the Quran. All right? Not in the Talmud. Okay? But in the whole scriptures. All right? That's where prophecy has been found. That's the measuring tool. This is what we use to know what times we're in. Is the prophecies of the Lord, and we know that we are at the end, man. Okay. So now verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. You see, now we understand very clear now, those that have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that these are the times that the Lord spoke about. This is the end which is written all throughout the scriptures of coming. Okay? We are in those days. And the Lord is not going to be slack concerning his promise anymore. Okay. Verse 5, it says, "For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." You see, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and of powerful works. And we've seen that. We read about that in the scriptures, man, the beginnings and the wonders that took place and the powerful works that were done to establish the world, to establish the nations, to put everyone in position for what we see today, for the end to be made manifest. For we can see the endings and effects and signs, so we can see the effects of the works that have been done on the earth. Okay, which the major effect that we're going to see is the judgment. Because just like in Genesis chapter 6, when you read about it, the Lord saw that the thoughts of men and their imaginations were wicked, man. And what did he do? He judged the earth. And the Lord is going to do this again. This time, the second death is going to be through fire, not by water. Okay? And it says, "And everyone that shall be saved," verse 7, "and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed." You see, and that's what it's going to take. You got to escape by your works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, man. Because you show your faith by your works. Okay? And not everybody is a prophet, so no, not everybody's not everyone's work is to be a watchman. Okay? You just gotta find your position. You gotta find your lot, man. And do it to the best of your ability, not for man's sake, but for the Lord's sake. Okay? It said, verse 8, "shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me from the beginning." You see, and that's the elect. Those are the ones that will be delivered from the said perils that are coming, man. And it's 144,000 men, prophets, that the Lord sent out to warn the world. And the rest of the multitude that will be delivered is known as the election. Okay, that is the elect of Israel. Read the seventh chapter of the book of Revelation. It tells you, it names the 12,000 out of each tribe, and then it says a great multitude. That's the rest of the elect of the nation of Israel. From every kindred, okay, from every tribe, nation on the earth, okay, the Israelites that were scattered around the four corners of the earth, man. Orthophule. All right? If you don't know what that is, then you need to do some research, man. You need to get some understanding. It says, verse 9, "Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments." Right now, let's go back to that 2 Chronicles real quick. Okay. 2 Chronicles 36 and 16. Let's read that. Right, we read 15. Let's read 16. It says, "But they mocked the messengers of the Most High, and despised his words, and misused his prophets until what? Until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, till there was no remedy." So those of you that are going to perish, all right, that are going to dwell in torments, you were those that mocked the messengers, man, that despised the words of the Lord that were given unto his messengers to tell you. And you misused us. You thought we were some scumbags. You thought we were just, useless. Okay, that we were speaking nonsense and lies. Well, now you're going to dwell in torments, man. You're going to be in a pitiful case. Let's read that back again in 2 Ezra 9. Verse 9, it says, "Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. For such as in their life hath received benefits and have not known me." And this is the number one benefit that you can receive on the planet Earth, to learn of the Lord, man. To get a heads up on what's getting ready to take place on the earth, because if you have a heads up, you're gonna make yourself ready, man. And that's what the elect is doing, being made ready. Okay, a bride adorned for her husband. Okay, but the rest of y'all gonna be found filthy, and you're gonna be cast into that lake of fire, man. All right, it says verse 11, "And they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it, the same must know it after death by pain." You see, you had liberty. The Lord presented you with this word. Okay? He presented you with the way that leadeth unto life. but the majority of y'all despised it. You understood not what was being done, what was being said unto you. You didn't understand it. So what's gonna happen now? The same as know it after death by pain. You're gonna have to know of the mercies. You're gonna have to learn of the truth of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai by dying, man. That's gonna be your part in prophecy, and you're gonna realize in that moment that those men were prophets, that what they spoke about was true, because your ass is gonna be roasted. Okay, so things are continuing to happen on the earth, man, and we look forward to it. We look forward to these things to continue. This article came out, is entitled Japan Issues First Mega Quake Warning. And it says the alert followed a 7.1 magnitude trembler that struck off the coast of the country's third largest island, sparking a tsunami advisory. You see? And they're saying that the Japan Meteorological Agency issued its first ever mega earthquake caution on Thursday, following a magnitude 7.1 trembler that struck earlier in the day off the coast of Kyushu, the country's third largest island. There were no immediate reports on serious damage or injuries. It says the quake occurred at around 4:43 p.m. local time off the coast of Miyazaki Prefecture of Kyushu at a depth of about 18 miles, triggering tsunami advisories. You see, these things are going to continue to take place, man. And again, man, this is just one of the many things that are taking place right now, man. You got all these protests all over the world, man. Things are not looking good for you people, man. And it's only going to continue to get worse. Okay? So just wanted to hit on that, man. I came across this article now, and I was like, man, these people, the spirit hopped on me to do this, man, because the world is in complete shambles, man, and only a fool would think that things are going to continue to be the way they are, man. So, hey, Lord's will is edifying. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachaha Badash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of the great millstone, and much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, who are diligently pushing out his truth and sincerity. With that, I say shalom.